Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. So today I want to talk to you and let's discuss why your CPA is not a tax planner. So I know everybody was like, no. What do you mean your CPA is not a tax planner? So let me make sure that we go into this. And I'm really excited today to share with you my journey, which is a journey that started in this specific field of tax planning about 15 years ago and hundreds of clients later. So, I've learned, and I walk you through how actually, I learned tax planning for business owners and real estate professionals. So if you're the first time watching, I'm Laura, and nice to meet you if you're a business owner or real estate professional, and let's dive in. So take you back about 15 years ago. My life, my career took a little bit of a pivotal turn. So I was working in corporate tax and accounting, and you have to remember back at that, in those days, we were just, overcoming the 2008 recession, and it was not over yet. And at that point, while I loved all the numbers crunching, all the problem solving and helping people, I felt something was missing, in this limited view that we were doing. And, remember a couple of weeks ago, I talked to you about very specifically my first journey in tax planning was in what if scenarios. That was the beginning, and it was beautiful. At the same time, it was very complex, the challenges that we were facing. We didn't have calculators. We didn't have the things that we have today. The tax software was not as complex as it is today. So, and all of the potential impact that, I could make and my company ultimately could make, it was very fascinating and compelling. So I got hooked. Right? So before stepping into this very specific niche of tax planning, I was someone who thought taxes were something that's very compliant. Like you had to file it, and it was all about the filing the forms correctly, checking the right boxes, making all the payments on time and where it needs to be paid, right? And, remember, like we were in 2008 where we had so many foreclosures, we had so many short sales. Obama has just passed, being the president, has passed this new laws about real estate. Everybody was going crazy, donating real estate, having all this upside down real estate. It was really a crazy journey for most people, especially in Orange County, California, and LA, where the area that I serve. And remember that, everybody like myself looked at all these taxes as an obligation. It was our obligation towards our government, and we didn't realize so profoundly the strategic role that this could play in a business growth and building portfolio, building wealth, and all these other areas that were just left like hanging. We thought that's just an investments, advisor's role, and really was not into the tax person's role, right, as a CPA. And I want you to really understand that none of this was actually thought during the CPA exam. So none of the preparation for a CPA exam teaches you anything looking forward when it comes to tax side. It doesn't teach you, if you go to your master's, they don't teach you anything going and projecting the future. It only looks backwards. So taxes were always, and a CPA's training is only to look backwards. What happened? What have you done? What is like, they didn't look forward to project, okay, what if this happens? What are you gonna do, right? Which is where we began. We began with the what if scenario. So I want to share with you that the learning wasn't easy because now we have much more information. Like the media, the social media, the internet made this tax planning kind of like a hype, and everybody's talking about it. But I want to draw your attention a little bit to, the complexities. They're complex laws, things that by the time you realize that, hey, you know what, I got this process figured out, they're changing the laws. They're taking the bonus depreciation. They're adding something else. There's so many changes that are happening, and tax planning hasn't been easy. It's ever changing, the regulation, the scenarios that are very specific to each client. So, thinking of all of that, what I spent countless hours, right, analyzing the pieces of law, each scenario. How do we actually attach this? And, mind you, I'd made many mistakes along the way. We've set up too complex of a tax plan from the beginning, where now after so many clients that we've worked with, we go as easy as possible. We don't go full blown with everything that I would have done maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. And the reason why is because now we understand the implications of the laws and what happens long term. So, getting our hands dirty and my hands dirty with the clients that we've served really taught us that tax planning is not just a strategy. It's not just about the strategies. People come to me and they believe it's all about the strategies. Well, I know I hired my kids. Well, I know about this. I know about that. I'm going to rent my house. It's not about the strategies. It's about the setup. How do you layer the strategies to really cut the tax bill that you have? And this is what we've learned over the years. And I got my hands dirty with like hundreds of cases so far where we've analyzed the types of income, the types of entities. Where do you draw? What do you want in the end? Really, that's teaching you, that's giving you the best outcome, right? Because we all saw tax planning go wrong, where you pay no taxes, but you can get a loan. You're not lendable. Or you pay high taxes and you don't do anything. You're just overpaying because you're fear to get to get started. Or, there's so many different things that could go wrong. Or we didn't watch our back. We didn't protect ourselves with the right documentation from the IRS. So all these things could go wrong. So fast forward to today, what I want to bring you to today, and I want to keep it like very short and concise for you. Today, after I've served personally hundreds of clients, right? We navigated all these tax laws, tax implications, their situations in their life, in their businesses, right? We saw businesses grow. We saw, them thriving. We saw families thrive on investments that they made and building wealth because of tax strategies that allowed them and give them more confidence to move forward, that it is your right to do tax planning. It is your right to look forward and see, what am I expecting 23 to look like? What am I expecting the next year to look like? And plan accordingly. It is your right. Our obligation is to file returns, everybody in the United States, right? But it is your right to tax planning. So I just want to encourage you, right? Because it's not just about acquiring knowledge. A lot of people think like, I have the knowledge. You can get the knowledge. Listen, you can go to ChatGPT for that matter and ask ChatGPT, what strategies are there available for me? Can I do tax planning? It's not about the strategies. It's not about the knowledge. It's about how it applies to you and what applies to you this year. Because having access to all the knowledge does not make it possible that you can actually save money. And I'm giving you a quick example. Listen, I have been trying to lose weight. After the last baby, I have been trying to lose weight. And it's been a few years. Do I have access to the knowledge? I have access to the knowledge. I have access to the equipment. I have a Peloton sitting right next to me in my office. The knowledge and the equipment does not help me get to where I want to be just because it exists. It has to be applied. It has to have the discipline of how to apply it, when to apply it, figuring out everything else to make sure that it works. I know it's a silly example. So, again, just stay with me for a second, right? So it's not about the knowledge. It's about how do you actually apply it. So what I want to say today, I want to say that the taxes are ever changing. Everything is changing all the time. I encourage you to open your mind, to explore the possibility of tax planning and look at it as this is your right. As you're in business, they want their piece. They want to have their taxes paid, right? Your right is to do everything that you can to minimize that tax bill, right? So the reason why I'm sharing the journey with you is because I want to encourage you to look forward, to look for what else can be done, right? And I want to encourage you to share your comments with me. Like, what's your journey with tax planning? What do you believe tax planning is? How does that impact your life? And I would love to chat with you. So if you're in this realm, you have a small business, you're a real estate professional, and you're trying to figure out, how do I navigate this? What applies to me? There's so many different laws, so many different strategies that you can apply. What can I do today? If that's you, send me a chat. Let's chat. Let's have a conversation so we see how can we make this tax journey better for you and for us, for everybody that we're in the industry. So I'm here on your side. Until next time, I wish you the best tax strategies and the best tax reduction this summer. See you soon.